and welcome to my thoughts on the Oscars. The Academy Awards ceremony that took place last night, the 2014 Oscars. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. People thought that Ellen DeGeneres was a safe host. I thought she was a good host. I mean, I think she kind of made a lot of people relax, you know. The whole pizza thing, you know, it was funny, you know, it was just like taking, you know, these A-list celebrities and actors who, you know, the event is always so prim and proper, and getting them to eat pizza at the Oscars was just kind of, it was just a real kind of, you know, bring them down to our level, and, you know, just, well, not bring them down to our level in any kind of they need to be taken down a notch, but, you know, it just kind of, it makes it more enjoyable for everyone, I think, you know. I thought it was cool. The selfie was just incredible, just really funny, and just a really awesome picture, like all the faces in there, and, you know, it was just, it was cool. I mean, I saw Kevin Smith was tweeting that, since it seems like all the fun and joy has been sucked out of this year's ceremony. Really? Just take a look at that picture that Ellen posted. I think it's the most retweeted tweet of all time now. And tell me there's no fun and joy in that, you know. But anyway, this video will be titled Oscars Rant, and I do want to rant about something. And before I get into that, let it be known that this is the most successful year I've ever had predicting the Oscars. Not that I do it that many years, but 18 out of 22. 18 out of 22 I got right. A few of them I got right by luck, you know, some of the short film categories and stuff. Like Helium, I just went for because I thought it sounded like the most interesting film that I'd like, but I haven't seen it. The rest, you know, I'm pretty well experienced on most of the films that were nominated this year. For me, you know, some of the big snubs, I'll get to that first. You know, I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman should have been nominated for some kind of acting award for their work in Prisoners. I feel like The World's End should have got a nomination for editing. I feel like The Wolf of Wall Street should have got a nomination for editing. I feel like Rush should have got a nomination for either Best Picture or at least Score. But, you know, I was happy with it, you know. I feel like, you know, Before Midnight kind of got, I don't know, put in a weird position with the best adapted screenplay, and just because it's, you know, adapted from previous films and it's a sequel, you know, I kind of see adapted screenplay as, you know, something that's been written from a, you know, previous story. Before Midnight wasn't, you know, already down, you know, and they had to adapt that story. They were just using characters they'd already created to create something new and original, and which was nevertheless part of that same chain of films. But I feel like they got the bum end of the deal on that one. I really feel like Before Midnight should have won for screenplay, because I think it was the best written film of the year. Her winning Best Original Screenplay though was fantastic. Big fan of Spike Jonze. Loved the film Her, so I was really happy and surprised that he won the Best Original Screenplay. Really cool. Stephen Price winning for Gravity was great as well. I love that score. All the acting awards across the board were just pure predictable, which doesn't make it any less cool, you know. Jared Leto winning Best Supporting Actor, Lupita Nyong'o winning Best Supporting Actress. She gave a really great speech. I love that speech. Really nice, down to earth and humble speech. Jared Leto, you know, I don't even talk about it. You know, great performance and everything, but I don't know. When people kind of they kind of make their speeches a bit too showy, and I don't know. No, it was cool. It was cool. He gave some kind of speech in one of the awards ceremonies. I've been watching a lot of them recently that I didn't quite enjoy, but you know, it was what it was. Cate Blanchett winning Best Actress, that was cool. I mean, deserved as well, you know. And then Best Actor going to Matthew McConaughey. I would have loved to have seen the award go to Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street, but you know, it's I feel like, you know, Chiwetel Ejiofor could have easily won the award. You know, I feel like Bruce Dern could have easily won the award, and you know, Matthew McConaughey, deserving. You know, and again, he gave this speech where he's kind of talking about his biggest hero being himself, and what else was he saying? I can't remember. It was a good speech. You know, it was definitely going off a bit, and basically the kind of speech that he gives. You know, but it was very cool and different, at least, I guess. Now, what I had the biggest problem with, Actually, before I get to that, the other one I was interested, the three awards I was most invested in was Best Adapted Screenplay. I wanted Before Midnight to win, it didn't. Best Foreign Film, I wanted The Great Beauty to win, and it did. You know, The Hunt could have easily won that, and I would have been happy. But I really feel like, you know, Blue Is a Woman's Color should have been in that nominations, in that you know, group of nominees. But I think it's bullshit how they decided that, you know, oh well, Blue Is a Woman's Color didn't come out in France until September 2013. That's too late for us to consider it for the Best Foreign Picture. Okay, okay. So when did Dallas Buyers Club come out? When did Her come out? You know, end of December, beginning of January 2014. You know, but they're eligible. They're eligible for, you know, the best films of the past year. Didn't like that. But yeah, Great Beauty was a modern masterpiece. Glad that won. And the third and final award I was most invested in was the best documentary. I watched all of these in preparation, which I've never done. And the nominees were The Square, Dirty Wars, Cutie and the Boxer, The Act of Killing, and 20 Feet from Stardom. The Act of Killing had such a buzz around it over the past, you know, year, and I saw it, and I have to say it is the most unbelievable film I've ever seen. One of the most incredible films I've ever seen, and just the most shocking documentary I've ever seen. A real ugly masterpiece of documentary filmmaking, in my opinion. It just really highlights the evil, disgusting side of human nature, and you know, it's not an enjoyable watch, but you can't take your eyes away from it, and I think it was a real achievement, again, in documentary filmmaking. And the award went to 20 Feet from Stardom, which, in my opinion, and I said this when I reviewed this, you can check out my Letterboxd account if you want, you know, letterboxd.com /RazorwireRyan, I think. You can check out my review, which I posted about a month or so ago. 20 Feet from Stardom, it's a fine film. It's an interesting look at the backing singers of the, you know, the 50s and the 60s, and you know, how they came into prominence and how they kind of didn't get the respect they deserved, you know, mainly, you know, African American women. And, you know, all the great artists they've worked with, Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, that kind of stuff. It's a fine film, you know, if you like music, you like singing, you're going to enjoy 20 Feet from Stardom. It's a really, really cool little film. But in comparison to the other four films in the documentary category, it's absolute fluff. And that's, you know, with all due respect, it is absolute fluff compared to the other films that are far more important, far more interesting, and in my opinion far more better made films than 20 Feet from Stardom. I mean, even Dirty Wars, which I didn't really love, you know, but it was very interesting, that should have taken precedent over, you know, at least 20 Feet from Stardom. Now, what I wanted to win, as much as I loved The Act of Killing and thought it was incredible, I really wanted Cutie and the Boxer to win, because that was even better. Cutie and the Boxer, I'm going to do a full review of this film. It's just an incredible look at life, love, art, and the perfect and imperfect ways that they all mix together. And it's about these two Japanese couple. You know, the man is in his 80s, she's in her 60s. They met years and years ago, and you know, in New York, and they're both artists. And it's about, you know, their relationship and their struggles with each other and with their artistic ambitions and everything. And just scraping money together to get by every month, and it was just an absolutely beautiful film, absolutely beautiful. And I feel like it was really between that and The Act of Killing, two films that are so polar opposite. One that really kind of celebrates the beauty of life, and the other one which really kind of shines a light on the horrific side of life. And you know, the Academy went for 20 Feet of Stardom, which was just about some singers. Again, with all due respect, it was just absolute fluff compared to the other two, and compared to the rest of them. Even The Square, which was another important film, I felt, and Dirty Wars. But man, Cutie and the Boxer, I was really gunning for that film, and I would have been happy with The Act of Killing. It would have been just and deserved, but I don't know. And they had the women who was in the film. She got up on stage and did a little like, yeah, women, sing it, like, it was a load of bollocks and bullshit, in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. and it is just the Oscars at the end of the day. I enjoyed it. It was good, you know. Very glad Alfonso Cuarón won the Best Director award for Gravity in that film. Took up all the awards that it deserved: cinematography, sound mixing, sound editing, you know, and editing in general. And I thought, you know, well deserved. People were kind of kicking off like, oh, it's not a good film as everyone thinks it is. It really was, you know, and you just got to deal with it the way I've got to deal with the fact that 20 Feet from fucking Stardom won the Best Oscar for Best Documentary Picture. Absolute bollocks, but there you go. It is the Oscars, you got to deal with it. And yeah, highlight of the night to start off with was Jim Carrey coming out and doing an amazing Bruce Dern impression. And but the real highlight of the night was Amy Adams and Bill Murray presenting the Best Cinematography Award, which also went to Gravity. And Bill Murray at the end of the nomination saying, oh yeah, and there's another nomination, Harold Ramis for Caddyshack, Ghostbusters and Groundhog Day, and just a really cool little off-the-cuff little, or it could have been planned, but you know, a nice little tribute to his friend there, which I thought was very nice, very tastefully done. He even said afterwards, you know, my apologies to the people who, you know, are nominated, you know, doesn't want to take away from them, but you know, I think everyone respected it. And again, the in memoriam segment just felt like it went on for about 25 minutes. Just so many legends lost. You know, for me particularly, you know, people who I've really looked up to, like Harold Ramis, Ray Harryhausen, Roger Ebert, and Stuart Freeborn. I'm really glad that the Academy recognized Stuart Freeborn, the guy who was the designer of Yoda from, you know, the Star Wars movies. But much more than that, he was a key kind of makeup effects guy who, you know, made some fantastic practical effects throughout movie history, and he passed away last year at the age, I think, 98. I did a tribute to him on my Road to Episode 7 series. I'm very glad that they gave him a spot on that reel. But there you go. The Oscars, it is what it is. Thank you for watching. And let me know what you think of what you thought of the Oscars after you watch them. Down below. Yeah, see ya.
He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool. Even though I'm sure he's a quite nice guy, really. He's a quite nice guy, really.